Hey everyone, welcome to the another video, and in this one we are going to see how we can host React.js website using Nginx. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So in order to host the website, you should have the server first. Okay, so for me, I have already created this server, a sample server for me on the DigitalOcean. You can also create a server on any cloud provider. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you are using Ubuntu 22.04, which is LTS version of the Ubuntu. Okay, so let's copy the IP address of this server and just minimize it and open the terminal right here. Okay, so let's open the terminal right here and let's do SSH login into the server. So SSH root at IP address and paste it and hit enter. So as you can see, I am inside the server. So whenever you create a new server, make sure you do these things. First thing, apt update, and then there is a apt upgrade. So what this apt update do? Apt update will update, apt update will update the repositories to the latest version, and apt upgrade will update the packages on your server to the latest version. So um, so it's just a good security practice, right? So let's clear everything, and next thing we need to do is we need to install Node on this server, because uh, we are using React.js website, right? We are going to host the React.js website. That means we should have Node installed on our server. Otherwise, how you will be able to run the website, right? So for that, what we need to do is we need to install the Node. So I'm not going to just install the one version of the Node. I will going to install the NVM, so that if I want to, let's say, host two websites on same server with different Node version, then I should be able to do that, right? So for that, I'm going to use the NVM. To install NVM, you will find this particular command. Don't worry, the commands and everything will be given in the description or the blog, but don't try to rush to the blog in the first place, because it might be possible that I'm covering something here which is not in the blog. So this is the command to install the NVM. So once it is done, you can just do NVM and dash -h, and it will not work. So do source and dot bash hrc, right? hrc, and that should do the thing. And if you do nvm h, right now it's working great. So once this is done, next thing you need to do is type nvm list or nvm ls. So by default, nvm has a node version of the latest stable version, right? So what we can do is to install latest version, nvm install node, I guess, install node. That should install the latest version of the node, which is 21.6.2. But in your case, if your React.js website is using different node version, then what you can do is you can just say nvm install. Let's say my website is using, let's say, node version 18 something, then I can just say 18.6.2, something like that, right? And it will install that particular version on this system, right? So this is how the nvm works. That's why I like it. And if I do node dash v, as you can see, I am getting this particular latest version, right? So first thing first, we need to get the website file. So for you, I have already created one website sample for React.js on the GitHub. You can just get it and fetch it. And that's exactly what we are going to do in this particular tutorial. And first we need to make sure where we are, where we will be, placing our all of the files. That also needs to be figure out it, right? So this is the command right here. It will git clone the my repository that I have created for the sample React app, and it will put in the /var/www/react sample, right? So if I hit enter, as you can see, it is saying done. And if I do ls and this path, as you can see, the React app is there. Okay, so they created two directory. No need to worry anything. See into the directory, and as you can see, inside that directory there is a my React app directory, which is not that much convincing because it is directory inside directory. And if I do ls right here inside my directory, there are packages. Okay, still great. It works for me. I will just modify the paths, right? Next thing we need to do is cd into the next folder, which is my React app. Do ls right here, clear this screen, do ls, and as you can see, we need to install npm packages. So npm install needs to be done there, right? And that should get the all packages. This is just a sample, no any crazy packages here, so it shouldn't take too much time. It should be finished in I think 1 minute. Okay, so as you can see, for me it's already finished. So next thing we need to do is stay at write ls right here, and we will try to run this, right? We can say npm start, so that should give us some kind of url right here, right? And we will see if it is working or not. If there is any issue in the source code itself, it will not work, right? So okay, starting the deployment server. Let's wait for some time, and it is showing the path. Okay, great. So that means it is working, right? So let's do control C right here, and next thing we need to do is npm run build. Okay, we need to build the product in order to serve the first, right? So let's run the build. It shouldn't take too much time to run the build, because my project is really small, so it should be over within few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, it has already built, and if I do ls, it is showing the build folder also. Great. Next thing we need to do is we need to install the serve package globally. Okay, so for that we need to add the command npm install -g serve. Okay, so if we hit enter, that will be installing the serve package globally, not in this particular folder, globally. Okay, so once that is done, what we can do is, in order to test if the serve is working or not, we can just enter right like this, and it is giving us url. This is the public ip url. We can just click on that, and as you can see right here, this is the website of the React that I have hosted. So it is visible right here. That means our website is good, build is good, and serve is also good. Okay, great. Do control C, and let's move with the deployment. Next thing we need to do is we need to create the service file for the React. So command is nano/systemd system and then react.service right here, and we need to paste the our service file things, right? So here my user is root right now, that's why I'm entering the root. Group is root, but if you want to do some secure deployment etc, you can just add another user also. My working directory is this one, and the exec start command is this one, and I'm using I think npm node version of 21.6.2. so in your case, if you are using different node version, then you should be modifying this particular file. Okay, so for me, just let me save it and just make sure that I'm using exact same version. Okay, 6.2. Great. Another thing to verify is you can just do a cat this particular service file that we have created, and you can just copy this particular part right here and paste it on the terminal. Okay, and it is saying there is a no file, no such a file with the /ubuntu/nvm/.sh, which is right. So we will type, see here they are saying that .nvm folder is right here. Okay, ./nvm. so if I do a cd right here, and if you do ll or ls all, as you can see, .nvm folder is right here. So we need to modify our service file accordingly. So rather than doing cat, let's do nano right here, nano, and we will modify this particular file. Instead of ubuntu, we will just say /root right here. Okay, so let me just add /root right here, and I don't think so anything anywhere else we have ubuntu mentioned here. No, we don't, right? Oh, okay, so there is ubuntu mentioned here. So let me just remove this particular part, and let's add root right here. And if we save and exit, and let me just cat file one more time. So let's cat file one more time, and I will just copy this particular and paste it right here, and this should launch the website. Yeah, it's launching. That means we are right and ready to go. So next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we are creating the configuration, the nginx configuration, and before that we need to make sure that we are installing the nginx. So apt install nginx, this is the command to install nginx, and hit enter right here, and that should install Nginx on your system. Okay, so once Nginx is installed, we will be editing configuration of the Nginx. So by default, Nginx create configuration on default file of the configuration. So I will, if I just go to the, let's say, cd into the /etc/nginx sites available and hit enter, as you can see the default configuration is there. So I'm not going to create my own new configuration. I'm just going to make sure that I'm using default configuration with some changes in it, right? So let me just nano and default, and here as you can see it is saying listening on port this, and there is a root and there is a server name and whatever. So instead of this location slash right here, first I'm going to do is I will just, okay, so let's do one thing, let's keep it simple. Just create backup of the default configuration, right? Cp default back. So that should create a backup of the default configuration. Then we will remove default configuration, and then we will create a new default configuration, right? New default configuration, and in that configuration we will be pasting. Okay, so right now if I do nginx sudo nginx tag t, as you can see configuration test is successful. So let's do service and nginx restart. So that should restart the nginx service. Then what we need to do is we need to daemon reload, because we created this service file. Then we need to enable the React service that we have created. So let me just copy the command for that, and this is the command. And once that is done, we need to start the service. So this is the command, and then we will check the status of the service. It is showing running, great. And then we will restart the nginx one more time, which is not required, but I'm doing anyway because it is written in my blog, right? So once everything is done, what you can do is you can just go ahead and check the server's IP address. Okay, so let me just grab the server IP address. You can just grab the server IP address I'm grabbing from here and paste it in the browser, and as you can see it is showing the website right here. Okay, so this is just a simple hosting of the React using the Nginx. What if you want to host on some domain name or something like that? So in that case you should have the domain DNS access. So right now I'm using this 1yt.in domain, and I am using Cloudflare as my DNS. So I'll just create the ANM record with this particular IP address, and ANM record will be at, right? So at means the current domain 1yt.in, or I can just edit it and I can just create the ANM record for, let's say, React. Okay, so that means I will be hosting my website on react.1yt.in. Okay, so once that is done, I can just minimize this particular thing, and I can just go here and let's say react.1yt.in, and this also should show me website. So right now there is a SSL here, right? So because the SSL is coming because I'm using Cloudflare, but in your case you might be need to set up the SSL from your side. So for that you can just install certbot and you can set up the SSL. Do let me know if you need to set up SSL. I just drop everything in the including the Nginx configuration in the blog itself. And yeah, that's all for this particular video, and do let me know if you have any questions and everything. And yeah, see you in the next.